Hey folks, welcome to another episode of AJ's Green Thumb. In this episode, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of some long due maintenance on these hydrangeas. Specifically, this Paniculata behind me, which I termed Lady Limelight. She was here when I purchased the property and she was in bad shape. And within the past 2 years I've been here, I've done the best I could to keep her up. So in addition to giving her a hard prune, I'll go ahead and hit up some other paniculatas. Paniculatas you can go ahead and prune now before they flower, because they flower on new wood. So they flower on this year's growth. I will not touch the macrophyllus, which are the big leaves. I will not touch the quercifolias, which are the oak leaves. So yeah, let's get started. All right, folks. So as with pruning any large shrub or bush, always start at the bottom, the foundation. That way you know what you're working with. You're able to more or less filter your way up to the top of the canopy. So right here, I have a water sprout. Okay, this right here is a water sprout. And these are kind of like suckers on a tree. They really don't serve that much of a purpose. You don't get that many blooms on this, and it just sucks out the life from your tree or plant. So you want to go ahead and cut that off. And as with pruning any large shrub, or any shrub for that matter, you want to take off anything that's dead, damaged, or diseased. It hasn't changed. It doesn't change. All right, so I'm gonna come in at the bottom of the water sprout and just give it one good snap. So since I've been really good at taking care of Lady Limelight, I don't see too many wayward branches. I think most of my concentration will be up in the canopy, and I'll remove all of the spent flowers and any crossing branches. This right here is awkward, and it's got to go. So I'm just trying to maintain a vase shape when I'm pruning her. Okay. This area of the canopy, everything's rubbing against each other. So I'm considering taking this off, which I actually think is a water sprout too. This right here is a water sprout. I'm gonna go ahead and snip that off. So I usually cut about a 1/4 inch above a division where the branch is split. This branch, oh, you know what, down here, check this out, guys. I've got some obstacles down here that I probably should have removed prior to. These are Verbena, Bonariensis Meteor shower. So let's get those up so I'm not tripping over them. Here's some green right here. So, all right. All right, so let's get up in the canopy here without crushing anything below me. One thing about pruning is you could kind of become hesitant because you're removing something that's otherwise productive, and it makes you second guess. You're like, do I want to short myself on blooms? Do I want to short myself on length? So you just have to decide ahead of time, this is what I'm going to do. And stick to it, because too much hesitation when you're pruning, you won't get the job done. Starting to die. Check this out. I had borers, and borers are not any particular insect, but they are insects that clearly bore holes into the trunk or the stems of plants. I mean, it could be ants, it could be little beetles. I mean, who knows? But the generic term is they're borers. So I'll have to spray this tree to fight against borers. This whole stem. So I'll have to bring it back to another node and see if it still has a hole. See right here? That's a fresh cut and there is no hole. So what I've essentially done is remove that opportunity for more boring to take place. Hey guys, I know I still got the crusties. It's pretty early in the morning. I just wanted to show you all the end result of Lady Limelight after the prune. All right, folks, so you guys just finished seeing me prune Lady Limelight. I'm also going to prune all of my Hydrangea arborescens, such as Annabelle, Invincible, and so on and so forth. Let's go. So in this garden, I've got a Hydrangea Paniculata, which is called Pinky Winky. I've got 2 Hydrangea Arborescens, which are Annabelle, and that's it. So we're gonna go back here and prune them real quick. Back here I have 2 Annabelle hydrangeas. They don't look like much. So the first thing you want to do when you're pruning an Annabelle or an arborescent hydrangea is first you want to figure out what kind of shape do you want to train the plant to develop into. This right here has a very strong leader right here in the middle, as you can see. I actually want to keep that. I don't want to remove that, but I do want to take off roughly a foot. For Annabelles and arborescent hydrangeas, you can actually prune them kind of hard. So like I said, this leader, I think I'll go ahead and take a foot off. Here's 5 inches. So just above this leaf node right here, I'll go ahead and cut. So I want to leave about an inch just above this leaf node. And what will happen is these will branch off and produce blooms. I see some dead right here. This has no growth on it. It can go. Since this shrub has some spindly branches, I'm going to get me a smaller pair of pruners here. So like I said, this branch right here with the exception of this offshoot right here, is dead. So I'm gonna go in, if you guys can see that, and cut. So right here, you can see a little bit of green. That lets you know that from here further down, this branch is alive. And if you look closely, I got this one weird branch right here that pretty much did a complete bend and touched the ground. I won't say it's rhizomes, but hydrangeas are like that. They're very productive plants. And if it touches the ground, if a leaf node touches the ground long enough and is covered with nutrients, soil, mulch, and so forth, with the sufficient amount of rain, it can actually develop into a whole new plant. So that's a whole other topic we'll cover in another video. I can propagate all of those. It seems kind of cruel, but what you want to do is train the plant to grow in a certain way. So you got to prune it. All right, guys. So with this Annabelle, we got a nice vase shape, as you can see. So I'm pretty satisfied with this prune job right here. I'm gonna go ahead and hit up the other one beside it, and then we'll move on to that Pinky Winky right behind this one. So this one right here is relatively simple because there's nothing to it. It just has two long stems, and I will bring these down considerably because I don't want this plant to be so out of proportion. So it really hurts to do that, but what this does is it promotes a more bushier plant since it's so leggy right now. Just go in here, remove some of this creeping Jenny out the way, and as soon as I did that, the dead branches came right off. So that was easy. Now underneath all of this creeping Jenny, I have other shoots coming out. This one right here, right here. It's almost as if with Annabelle and other arborescens, it's like there's like a, I don't want to call it a mother plant, but it's like a main section of the plant, and then since it tends to expand, I guess is the word, by rooting any branches that touch nearby soil, and then up comes another portion of that very same plant. And that's what's happening here. And so with this mother side, I guess I can call it, there's chunks that are dying off. So I'm gonna go in here and just clip them off. So what I'm gonna do later on is come through with some very rich compost, clear some of this creeping Jenny away, put down some fertilizer, and I use Hollytone for a lot of my hydrangeas. I use Hollytone, I use Rose Tone, I use Dr. Earth's, which has a high phosphorus count to it because it aids in the development of flowers. I can't resist pulling weeds as I'm working. That's a good habit to have. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to propagate these two branches. All right, so now we're done with these two Annabelles. let's go ahead and move on to that Pinky Winky. So I purposely left this tag here so I have some information on this plant. It's a proven winners plant. It's a hardy hydrangea. It's called Pinky Winky. And sorry guys, it is getting a little dark out here right now. You know, I had to rush home and try and make this video, so I'm dealing with the time I got. A few stats on Pinky Winky. It gets to be 10 feet tall and 10 feet wide. It blooms every year. It blooms on new wood. Huge white summer flowers turn pink from the base to the tip, resulting in a unique two-toned effect. Care, it says adaptable but prefers good loamy soil, prune back late winter, early spring, apply controlled release fertilizer in spring. All right, garden friends. Again, I really appreciate you guys hanging with me throughout this whole video where I demonstrated pruning both arborescent hydrangeas and paniculata hydrangeas. All right, now see you guys in the next video. AJ's Green Thumb.